G'day, I'm Dave. Today we're doing another Can It Be Saved? Another tool we're dealing with today that was thrown in the garbage is basically a hand planer. For those who aren't familiar with a hand planer, and of course you see me holding that because anytime I'm dealing with any electrical tool, safety, safety, safety. I like my fingers. I've got a lot of scars from learning things the hard way. What a planer does, be it a hand planer or bench planer, you have a blade right here that spins around. These two are slightly offset, so this one's slightly farther out. What the whole idea of this particular tool is, for those who haven't played with planers before, is it makes your wood perfectly level. As your wood comes in at one side, the blade is adjusted to take off the amount of wood to match the other side. So it makes that absolutely perfectly straight edge. It gets rid of all your little bows and little bends and everything else. This particular tool was thrown in the garbage, so we don't want to assume anything. It could have been thrown in the garbage because they moved, could have been thrown in the garbage because it's broken. It could have been thrown in the garbage for, well, someone got a new tool for Christmas. So we don't assume anything. Before we do any kind of basic testing, we look at, of course, anything that spins at high speed. If I was dealing with a circular saw, even a jigsaw, I remove the blades. You don't know how well the mechanism is that holds those blades properly. You don't know if it's working properly. You don't want to turn it on and have a blade flying at you. This particular tool, the blade, which is right here, spins at extremely high speed. I don't know if these screws are properly put in. The person may have tried repairing the tool already and gave up onto it. So these bolts could all be loose. So before I even plug this in, my first thing I'm going to do is take all of these out. Take the blade out on that side. Take the blade out on this side. So there's no blade. I'll do a plug-in and I'll do my test. In this case, I can see right off the bat, and if I look at the blade here, there's the blade coming across. You can see it's nice and shiny here. And as you come across, it's missing. And if I turn to the next blade, a lot of the blade is missing. So chances are, and you can even see the blade's partially broken, sticking out of this end. I'm willing to bet the blade was broken and they went and looked at how much it's going to cost to send it out and have it fixed and decided to buy a brand new one. The reason we do these videos is so that you can fix it yourself, save those labor costs, and just have to pay for the parts. In this case, a set of blades is not very expensive, and as you can tell, it's just a couple screws. You take those blades out, pop them back in, and the blades will then be fine. So for testing, anything sharp, anything that can come loose, a blade of any type, remove it. Luckily, I carry with me a full set of tools for just about everything. Everything that I've had to come across so far. That cover comes right off. You've got your blade, and basically you got your chipper. So your blade cuts the wood comes up, hits the chipper, bends up, and then basically breaks off. So we're missing most of the blade. That's all that's left of the blade. We can open up the other side. Let's just roll it over and have a look. You roll it over, you can see there's much more blade from there to there. You can see the difference. We're missing at least half the block, half the blade, plus that last 1/4 inch. Looks like that's all we're going to need. 2 full-size blades to replace. Because they're so small, and these are, I guarantee, are probably carbide, they wouldn't be very expensive. So go online, do some shopping, pick up the new blades. At that point, we give a quick plug in. And before I do anything, I've already checked to make sure the tool was safe. I checked for cracks. I checked all along here to make sure there's no cracks. I checked the cord itself to make sure there's no electrical. There's no chance of shocking myself. I'm plugged into a power bar with a nice quick breaker onto it. This is a commercial power bar that I've used a lot for testing. The breaker actually trips very quickly on this one, a little bit of extra safety. Once I've done that, I think the tool is fairly safe. The blades are removed and go on to the next step, which is grabbing a hold of the trigger, keeping everything that's moving far enough away from me so if it does fly out, it's not flying at me. And we'll do as fast as I can. I'll pull the trigger on, let it go. Very short little burst, just to see if I hear anything wrong. If the motor is actually even willing to spin. Because if the motor is not willing to spin and I hold that thing on, I can be putting a lot of power into this thing, generating a lot of heat, possibly a spark, possibly a short. Why risk it? So we do our low risk thing as far as we can with a quick burst of power. Once we've done that, and actually we heard from that, everything sounded actually really, really good. I'm going to go a little longer power. We could hear as the motor turned down, there was no grinding, and it continued to spin on its own, which tells me that it's pretty good free play. So my next step at this point would be turn it even on longer and start smelling for maybe too much heat coming out of here, maybe something burning inside, maybe there's an electrical issue inside. I'm sure none of you want to watch me run this for 20 minutes straight. That'd be kind of boring, like watching waves crack on the ocean for 20 minutes straight. Again, outlet out. Outlet out. There's not much to this, I don't expect. Oh, there we go. There's one end of the motor. So once we get the first cover off, I'm just going to check this to make sure, yep, it will pop off. So before I flip it, I just want to make sure it's seated properly. I could put the cover back on, but we'll leave it off for now just to get a little bit better understanding of how this works. I'm going to flip it over, get to the other side. So your motor goes across here. Your blade is directly under this center section. There's a belt that connects the two together right here. So I'll flip it over and let's flip over open the other cover. There's my two covers. You can't really mix those two up, so I'm not too concerned. And there's the belt that we assumed. So the belt just sits on there. I can lift it up just a little bit. If I want to take it off, I'll just lift it up a little corner as I'm turning, and the belt will probably just keep, there it is, it's slowly rising. Just put a bit more pressure, raise the next bump, raise the next bump, and I'll keep doing this until I have it right off. You know, I can grab it and pull it, but I don't really want to stretch that rubber. I want to just slowly work it off until I have the belt off. I guarantee you probably somewhere on this belt, this is worn off, there's probably a part number. If not, we go and look at the diagrams. So there's your motor right here that goes right through. We can turn that, make sure there's nothing wrong with it. You can turn this to make sure there's nothing wrong with it. And you can see how nicely that just turns. As far as I'm concerned, this seems pretty good. We don't know how strong the motor is, and I really don't know without trying to put some pressure on this. My only option at this point is I put the blade back in, tighten it all down, make sure the blade's solid, make sure both blades are solid, take it to a piece of wood. Yes, it's going to do a lousy job because the blade is all torn up, but I want to see if the motor has a bit of strength and to see if it's actually worth buying the blades. Why buy parts when you don't know for sure it's even worth it? If I test that and it does a lousy job on a piece of wood, but it's working hard, it's throwing out chips, you know, this good portion of the blade here should throw out some really nice chips. I know it's definitely, what's this tool worth to me? Is it worth replacing the parts? I guarantee you probably 99.9% of the time, if you're doing the labor, it's worth replacing the part. There's not much to replacing those blades. I can replace the blade instantly. I have a tool for either myself or for resale. Make a few dollars out of something I found in the garbage and learn a little bit at the same time. Thanks for joining us. If you have any comments, questions, thoughts, provoking ideas, suggestions, things I'm doing wrong, things I'm doing right, things you suggest we should be doing, leave the comments below. We'll incorporate them all into future videos. And if you have something that you'd like us to see on the video, let us know. Thanks again.